Hey y'all, it's Nicole Naomi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss my birth story. I am currently 8 weeks postpartum, so roughly 2 months. And everything started, I want to say, on September 11th, right? Me and my boyfriend just knew we did not want to have a 9/11 baby because, I wanted him to have his own day. Obviously, September 11th is a big day of remembrance in the United States of America, so I wanted my son to have his own day separate from a day of memorial and remembrance. So on Wednesday, September 11th, my contractions began at like 30 minutes apart for each contraction. And that night, obviously, I got absolutely no sleep. So a little backstory, my mother lives in Jamaica. So she came up here to the US for my baby shower and stayed for 1 month while, so she was here for my baby shower, then while I gave birth, and then, 2 weeks after I gave birth, and then she left back to Jamaica. So she was here, and my boyfriend was here, and all three of us were staying in my apartment, and none of us got any sleep that night because every 30 minutes I was screaming and howling for dear life because of contractions. So my mother said when she was pregnant with me, she rushed to the hospital because she started getting contractions, and then they tell you to walk around and da-da-da-da. So she said with my sister, she waited at home until the contractions got closer, and then she went to the hospital. So you see, you learn from the first one. You see that? So we did not go to the hospital on Wednesday when I was having 30-minute contractions, but my mother said when they hit 5 minutes, then we're out of here. So that's what we did. So now it is Thursday, September 12th. My contractions went from 10 minutes to 8 minutes to 6 minutes throughout the day. So my boyfriend was actually at his apartment and my mom was at home with me in my apartment. So when my contractions hit 6 minutes, my mom was like, is this it? Is this it? Are we ready? Are we ready? So I was like, yeah, because I can't sleep. We gotta go. So we packed up. My hospital bag was already packed. So me and my mother jumped in my car. My mom drove. I am just, every contraction. So by the time we get to, and we have a family group chat that the 7 of us are in. Me, my boyfriend, my mom, my sister, my dad, my sister's boyfriend, my dad's girlfriend, all of us are in the group chat together. So my mom texts, it's time. Nick has begun her contractions. My mucus plug had come out at that time. So, ready to go. So by the time we got to the hospital, my dad got there at the same time me and my mom did. And then my boyfriend and my sister got there at the same time. And, we hit the ground running. Unknown to me, I did not know how high security the baby thing is because people do steal babies. God forbid. So security was very strict at the hospital for who could be in the room with me and who couldn't. Now, I was very adamant about my mother and my boyfriend being in the room with me the entire time I was in labor and, of course, for delivery. So my dad came before my sister came, but my dad had to leave the room in order for my sister to come up. Now, if it was up to me, I would have had my whole family in my room, but, it's not up to me. So when the security guard said my sister couldn't come, I started getting upset. And since I was already hooked up to all the machines, my blood pressure started to spike, which obviously is not good when you're pregnant because, I'm 38, preeclampsia, high blood pressure, the baby, the this, to that, whatever. So my dad had to go downstairs for my sister to come up. She gave me a hug and a kiss, and then she said bye and she left. And then my dad ended up leaving too. So my mom and my boyfriend stayed with me, and then we began the epidural process. Now, funny enough, when I got to the hospital, I wasn't hollering like I was when I was at home. So my mom was like, Nick, are you sure you're even having contractions? Because we could have stayed home for this. So when the doctor came in and he checked me, he said, she's 6 centimeters. You guys aren't going anywhere. And he was like, usually when people come into the hospital at 1 centimeter, they're screaming the house down. But you're actually very, composed. So I said, yes, because I want to be decent in public. I mean, yes, I know I'm having contractions, about to have a baby, but I still want to be decent in public. I don't want to be all ugly and screaming and carrying on. That's horrible. But needless to say, Thursday, show started They hooked me up to the epidural because I did not want a C-section. I really didn't, because of the recovery. I just didn't want a C-section. So they hooked me up to the epidural and a catheter. Ugh. But needless to say, the epidural actually saved my life because I slept, which I didn't sleep since the Wednesday night because my contractions started at 30 minutes each. So once the epidural kicked in, I actually slept. My mom slept, my boyfriend slept, I slept, and then Friday morning, it was showtime. We are now at Friday the 13th, September 13th. I still have enough feeling to feel when my water breaks at like 5 something in the morning. Then the nurse comes in and she's telling me to push. Now this is my thing, right? You don't really realize how ignorant you are to certain things until it happens to you. Number one, I always thought pregnancies were 9 months, only to grow up and find out that they're 10 months. Number two, I thought you had to dilate 8 centimeters. Unknown to me, you had to dilate 10 centimeters. Number three, I thought your water breaks and the baby comes rushing out. Apparently not. So for 2 hours, I'm pushing. I have epidural and I can't feel anything. I'm pushing in 3 10-second intervals every contraction. So I'm like, why do I have to push if the baby comes out on its own? You know what I mean? So needless to say, I'm pushing. Each time he crowns and then he goes back. He crowns and then he goes back. So we get to around 9 a.m. Friday morning. I'm pushing. My boyfriend has one leg, my mom has one leg, and I'm pushing, and boom, there goes my baby. Baby J. And they put him on my stomach. He did not cry immediately when he came out of my canal. And when they put him on my stomach, I was like, oh my God! Because in my mind, I was just pushing because I knew I had to, because I couldn't feel anything because of the epidural. But I just knew I had to push. So when I heard him cry, I started crying. My mom started crying. And then they cleaned him up. My boyfriend cut the umbilical cord. Then they clean, put him in the warmer, and then we did skin to skin. And he was quiet because I guess he just knew his mama. And, you know, I just fell in love. What a feeling. Since I gave birth on Friday, I ended up staying the Friday night and the Saturday night, and then I left Sunday morning. They moved me from the labor and delivery room to the mommy and baby unit, obviously where the nursery is and where the recovery is. I am not a woman that likes hospitals, or I am a woman that does not like hospitals. However, it was a very pleasant experience because I breastfed for the first time. I had 2 different lactation consultants come and visit me. One of my mom's cousins works at Englewood Hospital, so she came to visit me, and my dad and my sister came because they couldn't stay the night before. My cousin TC came, my best friend Denise came. It was just an absolute miracle because my mother came. My mother was there, but she had to leave, but my boyfriend stayed with me and he slept in the hospital with me for the 2 nights. And it was just an amazing experience. It was, you know, once the epidural wore off, I got pins and needles in my right leg. It wasn't ridiculously uncomfortable, but, you know, you feel it. It's a feeling you didn't feel before, so you don't really like it too tough. And I had to wear a diaper, big old disposable underwear. I had to poop before I left the hospital. I did tear a bit and had to get stitches, but they were very small and they are fully healed, which was good. So it wasn't ridiculously painful, but it, you know, all the feelings of having a baby. I did a yoni steam once I got home after I got discharged from the hospital on Sunday. My sister bought me flowers and blue flowers and balloons because I had a boy, as y'all know. And it was overall a very pleasant experience. I am in new mommy heaven. I am in postpartum hell. I am tired. I wake up every 2 hours to feed my son. I love my son more than words can say. He is, you know, the joy of my life and the biggest highlight of my life, my year, all those things. Everything you can imagine from a new mother is what I'm currently going through. I love his little smiles, his little cooing, his poopy diapers, his little sleepy suckling. It brings me so much joy, and I'm glad I had him. Really, really glad I had him. If you are a new mom, please feel free to drop down in the comments. I would love to share this experience with other new moms to see, are y'all happy, or are y'all just saying y'all are happy? Are you tired? I'm tired. I'm happy, but I'm tired. Feel free to engage in conversation. Let me know what you're going through, what you experienced during your pregnancy and your delivery story. And I'll catch y'all in my next video.